we just got some juicy plot details leaked from Ralph Fiennes about the upcoming 28 Years Later. And that's not all. We've also confirmed that the rest of the world is infected in this sequel, which means a way bigger story is on the way. So, let's jump into everything we know about the movie. The plot synopsis for 28 Years Later gives us some interesting insights into how the world has changed since the last film. The 2002 original, 28 Days Later, introduced us to the Rage virus, which turns people into fast-moving, zombie-like creatures known as the infected. At first, the outbreak was mostly confined to Great Britain. However, by the end of the sequel, 28 Weeks Later, we saw the infection spread to mainland Europe. This was highlighted in a memorable scene where a group of infected storms through Paris after surviving characters Tammy and Andy crash land in the city. Now, as we look ahead to 28 Years Later, set to hit theaters on June 20th, 2025, we're not just getting a continuation of the story, but also the start of a whole new trilogy. This time around, we have the original director Danny Boyle back at the helm, along with the original writer Alex Garland and star Cillian Murphy reprising his role as Jim. The cast is packed with talent, featuring Aaron Taylor-Johnson from Kraven the Hunter, Jodie Comer from Killing Eve, Ralph Fiennes from The Menu, Jack O'Connell from Unbroken, Erin Kellyman from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Edvin Ryding from Young Royals. In a recent interview with IndieWire published on October 25th, Ralph Fiennes shared a detailed synopsis of the film, giving us a clearer picture of what to expect. He mentioned that the story is set in Britain, where the landscape is filled with violent, rabid humans and only a few pockets of uninfected communities remain. The central character is a young boy who is navigating this dangerous environment with his dying mother in search of a doctor, portrayed by Fiennes himself. Here's how Fiennes described it. Britain is 28 years into this terrible plague of infected people who are violent, rabid humans with a few pockets of uninfected communities. It centers on a young boy who wants to find a doctor to help his dying mother. He leads his mother through this beautiful northern English terrain, but of course, around them, hiding in forests, hills, and woods, are the infected. But he finds a doctor who is a man we might think is going to be weird and odd, but actually is a force for good. This synopsis offers a significant clue about the aftermath of the 28-week later ending. It suggests that while the infection was rampant in Britain, it's likely that the rest of the world has also succumbed to the Rage virus over the years. If other continents had managed to hold out against the infection, they probably would have tried to assist Britain during its crisis, much like the US did when they helped London rebuild in the previous film. Overall, the plot paints a grim picture of a world that's been severely impacted by the outbreak. The idea of a young boy trying to protect his mother while searching for help adds an emotional core to the story amid the chaos caused by the infected. With Danny Boyle and Alex Garland back on board, fans can expect a thrilling continuation of this chilling franchise, where survival is not just about fighting off the infected, but also about finding hope in a devastated world. The film is shaping up to be an intense and thought-provoking addition to the series, and it's clear that the stakes are higher than ever as we delve into the long-term effects of the Rage virus on humanity. Ralph Fiennes' summary of 28 Years Later suggests that most of the action will unfold in the UK, but it also hints at a much broader picture of a world ravaged by the Rage virus. This opens up exciting possibilities for future installments in the trilogy, allowing for exploration of how different regions were affected. Even if the primary setting remains the UK, the film could delve into what the survivors know about the situation in other parts of the world, significantly expanding the franchise's universe. From what we know, it looks like 28 Years Later will stick to its roots by taking place primarily in England, similar to its predecessors. However, the end of 28 Weeks Later teased the Rage virus spreading into Paris, which raises questions about its potential spread across continental Europe. It seems that the infected are still a major threat. They may have continued to infect new communities, or the virus might have mutated, possibly due to the asymptomatic hosts that were introduced in weeks. It's worth noting that the original infected from 28 Days Later perished from starvation within about 56 days, leaving us wondering how this will play into the plot of the new film. While Fiennes didn't confirm the actors playing the lead roles, there's speculation that Jodie Comer might portray the dying mother, which makes sense given her talents. Another actress announced is Erin Kellyman, known for her role in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but at only 25 years old, she may not fit the age range for the character. The boy, who is a central figure in the story, could be played by Edvin Ryding from Young Royals, although set photos show him in a military uniform, suggesting he might not be the one after all. Fiennes will be playing a doctor whose character sounds intriguing, especially considering his history of playing villains like Voldemort in the Harry Potter series and Chef Slowik in The Menu. His character seems to embody the moral ambiguity that's a hallmark of the franchise's post-apocalyptic setting, creating tension around whether he's truly a force for good or not. Production for 28 Years Later kicked off in May 2024 and wrapped up surprisingly quickly, likely to meet the June 2025 release date. The film shoot lasted a little over 2 months in the UK, which is quite a tight schedule. While many plot details are still under wraps, fans can expect some significant revelations as the film enters its post-production phase. In addition to the filming update, there's news that the sequel will soon begin production. While specifics about this follow-up are scarce, the decision to film back-to-back suggests that it will pick up directly from the events of 28 years later. There are plans for a third film as well, but its future is still uncertain. Producer Andrew McDonald shared some insights about the production timeline, saying, "We're making hopefully 3 more 28 films, with the first one called 28 Years Later that Alex has written, Danny has directed, and we finished shooting. Then we're just about to start tomorrow morning, actually part 2. And then we hope there's going to be a third part, and it's a trilogy." With all this buzz, it's clear that the 28 Days Later franchise is gearing up for a thrilling return, aiming to keep fans on the edge of their seats while expanding the universe and exploring the moral complexities of survival in a world overrun by the infected. Whether through familiar British landscapes or potential new territories, the franchise looks set to dive deeper into the consequences of the Rage virus, making it a highly anticipated addition to the horror genre. Since the project was officially announced, 28 Years Later has been generating a lot of buzz with updates, and now it has locked in a release date. Fans can mark their calendars for June 20th, 2025, when this long-awaited zombie sequel is set to hit theaters. The summer release is perfect for what could be a blockbuster event, but as of now, there hasn't been any word on when the second and third films in the planned trilogy will debut. So while we wait for the return of the Rage virus, we can look forward to what's shaping up to be an exciting summer release. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.